rappers and music producers. You are here for another episode of Critique My Beats. We're going to give a little chime for the chat to lock in. It's been a second since I've been on here live, but it is definitely the time to do it. I've been getting over what's going on, Mr. Mongoose. Been getting over a cold. Red X Ace, how you doing? Ernest Taylor, what's up with you? How you doing, family? Mr. J Beats, Xola Comisa, John Noy's Music, Nicole Nix, what's up? Squat, NKDVKNG, what's up? It's a vibe. Dope. Brother Woods makes beats, a delicate sound. Arthur Vertugo, Chat, Grizz. So, Mr. Mongoose, how do I send stuff? Go to critiquemybeats.com. That is the only way that we're doing any kind of beat critiques is through critiquemybeats.com. We have 3 producers that we're going to get to today. One of which was a producer from last time that he didn't send it the right way, but I guess he updated it and now he sent it the right way. Atlanta Music, what's up? DMT Trip, what's up? Shake AU, we're going to definitely bring the warmth. True Time Productions, how you doing? It's been a second, it feels like it, yeah. I had to get over a cold initially, so that's why, it's been a little bit of delay. I've still been able to get some content to you, but it's been a delay. Yes, this is definitely live. I know the camera quality is a lot better. Is my voice doing that weird Tyler the Creator thing where it sounds like it's pitched down? Please let me know. If it sounds normal, put a 1 inside the chat, and then we'll keep it pushing. But for some reason, it was doing like this low, yeah, last time we were on here. Hopefully it's working this time. Salt of the Earth, how you doing? Nah, I'm chilling. Cool. That's what's up. All right, cool. So, Jasmine Powers. Shout out to Jasmine Powers. She is killing it right now for my business. I'm so thankful for your presence, Jasmine Powers. You're bringing so many people to this community. You are a marketing genius, and I appreciate the work that you do. It is so amazing. All the folks that you bring into the community. So let them know about the courses that I'm doing. So we're getting ready to jump into this new episode of Critique My Beats, and we're starting off with the producer named NIK. As this goes, you guys know, be respectful of these producers. We don't say anything here about anything being trash, and I always like to build up empires and not burn them down. What I mean by that is that if you're going to give constructive criticism, most people are good at the criticism part. They're not good at the constructing on top of it. So be able to express yourself or just fall back. Easy as that. Be able to fall back. If you want to understand how to do that, go in the description. CurtiqueMyBeats.com is the only way to do it. There's a VIP pass, one of which gets you 2 beats that you can get played live in front of 107,000 subscribers. So crazy to even say that now. And aside from that, there's another package that allows you to get some drum kits. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and get to it. I see a lot of great people in here, a lot of familiar faces, nothing but love and respect. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so Nicholas, or NIK, is the producer first. He left us with 2 beats. He is high again, and sorry for earlier. Here are 2 new beats sent in MP3 format. I believe you're from Norway, I believe, if my memory serves me right. But either way, let me actually get rid of this desktop just so I can see it even more. Okay, so bring the chat back. Let's listen to Critique My Beats. Is how you send your beats in. Listen to the first one, which is called Insanely Sane. Put a 1 if you can hear the beat. NIK. Oh my God. Yo, that might be one of my favorites that I heard in a minute, man. NIK, way to set us off right quick. So NIK, if you just missed it, he was a producer from earlier that sent in beats, but he kind of sent them in a weird way. But yo, this is super dope. At first, when I heard the original melody line, I didn't know where it was going. It sounded really like whimsical and kind of like even really animated and playful, and I didn't know if that meant like the beat was going to drop in and be sort of whimsical with it. But I feel like I hear somebody who's like a happy rapper over this. Like I can hear Chance over something like this. I could hear, oddly enough, I could hear Gold Link as a feature on that. I like the drum work on it. I like how interesting the percussion was. The percussion had just enough going on. Like this is one of those beats where it's minimal, but it's just enough going on for somebody who wants to find space. And sometimes this is the perfect beat as you're submitting your beats off for possible placement. Kyle, yes, Mr. J Beats, you hit it right on the head. Super duper Kyle would definitely murder that. I like where that bass line was going. Overall, really clean mix. I like the whimsical nature of it. I would have liked to see some additional brighter instruments played throughout, maybe through the 8-bar mark, just something to kind of open the beat up a little bit. Because right now, as it is, it sounds supremely fire for a minute. But it's got to be some kind of a transition. And maybe it went to it, but I feel like it didn't get there quite fast enough. But yo, either way, you set us off nicely. Let's go to the second beat, which is called Gliding. Yeah, I just got off the phone with Chief. Hello? Yeah, this is it? This is definitely it. NIK. Way to set it off today, man. I enjoyed these. Both of these, actually. I'm starting to hear, I guess, the things that make up your sound. As I'm listening to this instrumental Gliding, the thing that I find the most interesting about it is of course, the drums once again. I like the melodic instruments you're choosing because you're choosing things that are a lot different than what the norm chooses, right? Everybody kind of goes to their favorite trap packs within either Nexus or Omnisphere or, Solenthar. Everybody's kind of using the same type of string stabs and the same type of synthesizer blips. This was like you're taking future bass and you're bringing it to a dirtier trap sound, which I think is a really great marriage of sounds. The only thing that as I'm listening to this, I'm listening to it for the aesthetics because the mix is really great on this one, on both of them actually. But what I'm listening is for momentum. And I feel like in that chorus where it got busy and you have the hi-hats going, I feel like there's something you got to do with those strings in the background to accentuate the pace picking up in the last part of that chorus. Because right now, the hi-hats are not carrying that enough. So I hear like a rapper who's on this, like whatever their hook is or whatever they're getting ready to get to the hook is going to be basically double downed on when that momentum picks up. But that's just an aesthetic thing that I think that you're going to be able to work out the more that you work with artists in the studio, you'll understand exactly what I'm getting at. But man, 2 fire beats. I wish you would have left us with some information so that we can come check you out. What everybody's saying in here? Someone know his YouTube channel? I wish we did, the virus. Nice hats, Tim said. Yeah, really clean. Everything has good definition. DMT tripping. That's the same thing I felt. I feel like everything was deliberate. I feel like everything was put in its proper place. So, man, I really enjoyed that. Definitely something that I can hear like one of the newer rappers that rap over like future bass aesthetics. Like you definitely would do some damage with Gold Link. You would do some damage with even Smino. I could hear over something like this. Would be very, very dope. Mach 10 beats. No, we're not critiquing any beats. We're not critiquing any beats that are not the VIP passes. If you would like to get that critique, go to critiquemybeats.com and we'll go from there. Yeah, Akinito, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. He definitely properly chopped the hell out of that. I really enjoy that. Okay, so let's go to the next producer. I wish you would have left us some info. Hopefully you jump in the chat and we can go from there. So the next producer, John Noise is back again. He says, I'm back for round 2. Thanks for your critique on my other beats. Since then, I've tried to incorporate all of what you mentioned. Right Back is a Rich Homie Quan type beat, and Dedication is a Meek Mill type beat. I'm also starting to make YouTube beat videos and uploading to my site, social media, a lot more. Thanks again for all your advice and motivation. 2 beats. One's called Right Back. The next one's called Dedication. Let's listen to Right Back from John Noise.
John Noise Music.
Okay, John Noise. So the first beat, Right Back. So I enjoyed the arrangement of this one. Like I like where you're placing your melodic choices, right? So you have the general wah, 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 and then you have the stuff that's like kind of padding the other walls of sound. And I feel like that's supremely on point the way you arranged it. However, I think where it falls short is just the mixing of it. I think the bass sounds good. It has a nice sub-frequency presence, but I feel like the bass muddies the mix up a little bit. And I feel like the melodies might have been a little bit too loud. I feel like there needs to be a more cohesive balance between the volume and even how you're EQing some of the instruments. As I'm listening to this, there's certain brighter frequencies within these melodies that you're playing that are sort of distorting in the high frequencies. So it's probably best that you apply some kind of a cut so it's not as harsh, or just run them through a filter, like a high pass filter, low pass filter, just something that's going to take a little bit of the harshness out so that you leave room for a rapper as they rap over it. Not just when they rap vocals. Something that people sleep on for producers is that, or for rappers, is that when rappers are writing to a beat, if the sounds are too harsh during the writing process, it's going to change the way they approach that beat, right? For rappers that are not dominant rappers, it's going to make them actually shy away from the beat a little bit. I've noticed that when I'm writing to a beat and the sounds are a little bit too harsh, or they're just too much in the frequency where I'm kind of like getting my most inspiration melodically, I tend to like back away from those type of beats. So it's important that you give it a more balanced mixed. And like I said, there's a few things that you could have did for that right back one to do that. But I think overall arrangement wise, I enjoyed what you did with that. It's just about getting a cleaner mix and a more balanced EQ on that beat. I think would definitely be it. Let's go to the second one, which is called Dedication. I'm gonna read some of you guys' comments.
John Noise Music.
I'll tell you this, for somebody that's been listening to Meek Mill, I'm a Boss with Rick Ross, the old school Meek, I've been listening to that on repeat in the gym. Like, for somebody who's been listening to that, that's immediately who came to mind as I listened to this beat. A lot of folks in the chat were saying the same thing, John Noise. So I think that this is definitely right up the alley of a Meek Mill. As I'm listening to it, once again, I feel like you have a great direction with arrangement. Okay, I think you know where the instruments are naturally supposed to be placed. Even as I'm listening to the panning, I'm noticing that you're putting them in places and in pockets that leave some space for the vocals. However, I think that sometimes as producers, when we don't have a rapper rapping over the beat, we try to make up for space that's generally covered by the rapper. And I think that as producers, we overproduce beats. And I think this is an example of an overproduced beat. There's certain elements that I feel like if you were to pull back, the whole perception of this beat changes. One being that siren. The siren was way too long. The siren was out of key. And that siren takes away from that build-up momentum. Like when Meek Mill is doing, Dreams and Nightmares or whatever the joint is called, where he's rapping over like the pianos and then it gets into those 808s, it's building momentum and everything feels cohesive. It doesn't feel like when the drums come in, everything just abruptly stops. It feels like everything has been leading into that. Same thing with the T Grizzly First Day Out record. It feels like it's naturally moving in that order, right? And they'll maybe apply they'll have like a very pretty piano or pretty synthesizer lead, and then they'll like apply some kind of effect to it or take it down a couple of octaves just to kind of mess with the listener's brain. But as I'm listening to this one, the drop was a little bit too abrupt. It wasn't a smooth transition, and on top of that, the siren was way out of key. The drum work, man, your kick arrangements, your kick rhythms, like how you had those things like you had the kick rolls. Oh man, beautiful. Even the way that the cleanliness of the snare as it came through the mix, super dope. But I don't think that rappers are generally going to give a beat like this enough of a chance to get to a minute and 20 when the drums actually dropped. So just give it, just I would say bring the drop in earlier, and then also too, I would get rid of the sirens. If we were collaborating, I would either get rid of the sirens or duck them down further within the mix so that they're not so distracting. But it seems like mix-wise, you're trying to make everything fight for attention, even your melodies, when certain things just need to be in their own volume parameters. They need to just be where they're at. Right? Even if you feel like, the listener's not going to hear it, that's fine. Psychologically, they'll feel it. or you're not gonna feel the warmth of it. That's why like a lot of my beats, people don't even notice. I put a lot of choirs super low, and then I run an effect over them because the warmness of the human voice is just undeniable. So when you listen to a beat, you're like, man, that piano's amazing. I'm like, you don't even hear the choir that is padding that, because it's only something that producers who are really listening, like with a really, really detailed ear, are going to hear. And I think right now all of your sounds are fighting for space. But I enjoyed it, man. I enjoy to see the progress in you, John Noise. Your website is johnnoise.com, youtube.com. Let me go ahead and subscribe to you. I might have already subscribed to you, but let me go double down, subscribe. Boom. John Noise Music. Super dope. Okay, what did you guys think of this beat? Yeah, levels. Beautiful, very melodic. I love the energy, because I feel like no matter what I say about it, if a rapper wants to get off them yelling ass Meek Mill, Tekashi 6ix9ine type lyrics, he's about to get that off. He don't care about what's in key. He's about to get off. But I think that because you're not just making beats for rappers, you're making beats for the listeners that the rappers are going to be rapping to as well. You're doing it for the listener too. You want to make sure these things are aesthetically pleasing. So I think that's important. All right. Cool. Super dope. Okay, just had to block somebody. All right, so those were the two beats. Let's go to the last producer, and I want to chop it up with you guys for a second. Okay, this person didn't read the instructions. Only 2 beats, my friends. 2 beats. Hey, Curtis King. My name is Anthony Yates. I go by Black Boy Beats. Due to producing, I've been playing with FL Studio off and on for some time, and now I'm ready to take it seriously. No more playing around. I've read your book, and you truly inspired me. I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking the time out to critique my beats. Thank you, Curtis King. Okay, cool. So, okay, you sent me an extra beat. Yeah, we just doing 2 beats, my friend. Okay, so let's do Rapport and then Trap King. So let's play the first one, which is called Rapport. Okay, so Black Boy Beats. First beat is called Rapport. And let me say, as I'm listening to this, the first thing that is hard to deny is the fact that there's a lot of keys that are not in the same key. There's those stabs along with the chords you're playing in the background. They're not in the same key. But here's the thing about it. If you were able to put those in the same key, and it's funny because somebody jokingly said spiritual type beats. Funny thing about that is that if you would have put these in the right key, right, and you made this a more cohesive collection of music, if you were to mix this, this could be the intro music for somebody's spiritual channel. This could be the intro music for somebody who does like inspirational videos, right? This is something that could fit in that mode. I would not look at this and say, oh, I think I can hear Lil Yachty on this. This is not, I don't feel like that's the direction you go on with something like this. For me, I feel like this is where you got to get creative, because you can tell I can tell that you're in the very beginning stages, right? At least with this beat, it sounds like a beat from something in the very beginning stages or within your first few years. And that's not a diss. That's just saying that there's a lot of room for growth here. And I think that the mix is something that's definitely going to be an issue. You know, these type of beats, as slow as they are in this one, as eclectic as some of the choices are in the melodic instruments, these beats work. When you're talking about for TV, not TV intros, for like YouTube channel intros, there's a space for them. You just got to be very creative about how you approach this. This could even be like, like music that you use for a phone app, right? Somebody's doing like a startup phone app, and then you kind of have this as menu music without the drums. I would just play the melodies, put them in the correct key, and then proceed with there. But I think that the room for growth on this one is really in putting the keys in the right key. And then also, too, balancing that mix out. And also, too, you're going to have issues with this until you start upgrading sound equipment. But that's just one beat. Let's go to the next one, which is called Trap King, and come back with some thoughts.
A lot of niggas ain't scared.
Yeah, as I'm listening to this one, Black Boy Beast, I'm gonna tell you the first thing that I'm hearing is that this one sounded very chaotic. It didn't sound like you had a direction you wanted to go in. I don't know if you call this a dark beat. I don't know if you call this you called it Trap King. So when I hear Trap King, the title, I'm expecting something that comes in and is like, I'm taking over. This is every single element of this beat is going to say that. But there's certain elements of this beat, drum-wise, that maybe give that feeling to you as you're making this beat. But I think that as you're talking about the keys, those are out of key. As you're talking about the strings that you have going through there, those are out of key. The synthesizer, that's out of key. It's chaotic right now. And you may be in a situation where it's like you got to go take a music theory course or at least learn your scales, right? Because right now, if you're just judging by your ear, I don't think you're hearing what everybody else is hearing. Right now, it's hard sometimes when we're in, I don't know what you're recording at or where you're recording in or making your music or making your beats, but sometimes we have these headphones that are super loud and the beat is banging. We take for granted the fact that certain people listen on different devices, right? People listen on all different devices. And I'm listening to this right now in these headphones. The 808 shows glimpses of coming through, but for the most part, it just sounded all over the place. And this may be a matter of how do you fix those. So I guess the next question is, how do you fix that? The way that you fix that is, one, figuring out what's out of place and taking that out. And I think that melodically, that piano, there's an idea there, but between the tempo, between the mix, between the actual instruments you're playing, it's just that there is no specific direction, right? It's like, imagine a car with octopus legs. It's like that leg's over there, that leg's over there, that leg's over here, that leg's over here. This leg says dramatic. This leg says emotional beat. This leg says trap king, and this leg back here says, I don't know, I'm just here for the ride. It's just not a deliberate direction you're going in. So I would say sit with your favorite beats and try to study the layers in those beats and then see what is not matching up, right, with your beat. Because as of right now, it just sounds like you probably started off with a loop and you just continuously went on and on and on and on and on and on until it was done, or until you felt it was done and you added enough instruments. But right now, it doesn't sound like a cohesive piece of work. But it's room for improvement. Hopefully, that piece of advice can give you some direction. I know that the chat in here going in. Trying to see what they're saying. Yeah, I think that you're just going to have to take more time with it, man. You're going to take more time with it and you know, understand music theory. What's up, Epic? Understand music theory in you could do like the game's music theory in a day. Honestly, that helped me out so much because naturally I have an ear. Like I know what goes with what, but you know, as I'm listening to this, I could tell it's someone who is just getting started and is just putting instruments together. Like I think you have the right idea with the piano, the 808s, the kicks, the snares, and the drums, but I just don't think it's a cohesive piece of work. But that's today. Things can change in a year. Things can change in a month. Looking forward to seeing where the progress goes. So your website or your Twitter is Black Boy Beats with a Z 1. Instagram is Black Boy Beats with a Z. And then your YouTube, let's go ahead and subscribe to you because I do appreciate you putting your stuff out there on the gauntlet. It's not an easy thing. Black Boy Beats. Okay, so now that we have that squared away, what y'all want to talk about? What's up? Let's talk for a few seconds. I got to call my boy Epic on the line. But I wanted to make sure that I jumped on here live. Are you guys enjoying the new videos that have been popping up? I'm good. Shout out to Shay. How you doing? Are you enjoying the new videos? Because I got a lot of them coming at you. Your man's Curtis King got a little bit. Well, I got sick first of all. I got sick and I had to fall back for a second. But I kind of fell back a little bit on the videos. But now I'm jumping back into it, and I got a lot of content coming down. You guys enjoying the videos thus far that are out there? The beat you played in your previous YouTube video. People have been asking me about the beat. I don't know what beat it is, but I mean, whatever beat is on there, if it's not on CurtisKingBeats.com, then I don't know, then it's probably sold exclusively. Even though I think I'm going to stop selling exclusives. At least until the end of this year. I'm just not making beats fast enough, so I got to build my catalog back up. And then I may not even sell exclusives at the top of the year either with the tax season coming up. Thank you, Shaquille. I appreciate that. I had to get my hair cut today. It was due time. Due time for such. Beard coming in a little bit. Gotta let that thing grow out. Super dope. Super dope. Super dope. Shout out to you. You joined DistroKid. Congratulations, man. And shout out to the homie J Anime. J Anime is the reason why I've been able to get these videos out so fast, because even though the brace is not on, my wrist, I don't know if you guys can see, my wrist is still jacked up. So yeah, I've not been able to be in front of the computer for long periods of time. But any questions before we jump out of here? Because I mean, I only got so much time on this camera because I'm not on my normal webcam. I'm on my actual Lumix GH4, and those batteries die. So it's almost like Instagram where they give you a time limit. Ghost Boy Swift says, plan on writing any more books? Absolutely. Absolutely. Got to do a little bit more living, and then we'll get that book made. Got to figure out what I want to actually address next. How do you deal with the emotional stress? Focus on the facts first. I think that when you focus on all the variables, you focus on all the things that your mind allows you to imagine that could happen, that's when you start to really take off into another direction. So I think for me, like emotional stress, I just let it be what it is. Like I focus on the facts. What's actually going on? What's actually within my control? What can I actually change right now? And most times things don't need to be changed. I need to chill out. I need to come back to reality. And there's some things like there's a lot of power in inactivity, and a lot of people don't believe that. But sometimes you got to be inactive just to let your mind and your body recover from whatever bull is going on. You got to be able to do that, you know. And then sometimes some people are like me, like I have to get up and go. Right? I get up and I just go. Action makes me get out of my slumps fast, because Tony Robbins always talks about it, is that your emotion is a result of your motion. So however you use your body, if you don't use your body, if you do use your body, if you use it very aggressively or very soft, whatever, those things affect how you feel and how you're in an emotional place right now. I think someone asked if they bought it right now, if they bought a Critique My Beat pass right now, would I critique it? Not today. We'll save it for another episode. I want to make sure that we get the most out of this before this camera dies out. These DSLRs do not last long on the live stream. Shout out to Epic too for showing me how to do this live stream using my Lumix camera. Aaron Barber, do you think Airbit is still okay to use, brother? I just signed up. Absolutely. I think that you need to do your research on every aspect of it, but don't let that stop you from doing it, right? Sometimes the best teacher is not doing an extensive amount of research. Sometimes it's getting bit in the ass. And sometimes you got to get out there and just put your beats out. And then when something happens, you're like, I will never allow that to happen if something goes wrong. But I still use the Airbit. It serves its purpose. It does exactly what it says it does. So that's that. Yeah, William, you hit it dead on. Sometimes stress is good for you because it pushes you to progress. You got to appreciate the stress. You got to appreciate that you're not going to have anything in life worthwhile without some wild sacrifice, right? Some wild sacrifices have to be made. It's a part of the process, right? I feel like most human beings have the most pain trying to make imperfect things become perfect. They spend the most amount of energy trying to make imperfect things perfect. And I had one of my mentors who he does like hypnosis for UFC fighters. He told me, he said, you know what I tell these fighters? I say, what? He says, if you get punched in the eye and you lose your vision, don't spend your time trying to fix the vision in that eye. Focus on what you do have and utilize that to its full capabilities. And I think a lot of us get punched in the eye in life, and we don't know what to do except for to fix what actually happened. When in all actuality, it's like, if you don't get your hands back up and stop worrying about getting your eyesight back, that person is going to knock you out, especially in UFC. They'll chin you up with a kneecap. You will die, son. Okay, it's a little bit drastic, but you got to be able to use what you have or what you don't have and readjust, because you have something. So I've been trying to utilize that more. And then also, too, I know my channel is one that pushes a lot of positive thinking and being positive about situations. But here's the fact of the matter. Some of you out there are you have negative characteristics, and that's just who you are, right? An orange can only be an orange. An apple can only be an apple. And I feel like a lot of people find pain trying to make imperfect things perfect, but also it's people who are naturally oranges trying to be bananas. What do I mean by that? I mean that there's certain people who you make music as a producer for people who enjoy listening to instrumentals. You don't make music for people who, your beats can be rapped over, but that's not your place here, right? You're an orange, and then that orange status that you are, you're supposed to be the DJ producer that just shares your music and has these crazy titles and builds an audience, maybe through Spotify playlists. You don't have to do type beats. That's not for everybody. But a lot of producers are convinced, oh, even if I'm a banana, I have to be an orange like every other producer. I know that's a weird analogy, but that's the problem. So I think a lot of folks, they feel like, okay, I'm a negative person. People say that, like for me, one of the most negative things that people used to say about me was that I talk too much. Okay, you guys obviously know that that's facts. I talk too much. The wrong thing to do would have been trying to fix me talking so much and then try to talk less, which I did that at some point in time. The right thing to do to make it a positive would have been to utilize that negative characteristic in a positive way. I'm going to do a video about it really soon, but what did I do? I talk too much. Well, what place can I go that allows me to talk as long as I want and not be penalized, actually be rewarded for talking a lot? Podcasts, YouTube, social media, you know what I'm saying? Like FL Studio beginners courses. I can talk as long as I want and I get rewarded for it. So it's a matter of, if you're a negative person, if you're argumentative, if you like sports, become Stephen A. Smith, right? Because those characteristics would be negative in any other place except for Stephen A. Smith being who he is, one of the greatest NBA analysis of our time. Regardless if you agree with his views, he is one of the most influential analysts in the game, literally by using what people probably called negative things about him. He's argumentative. He only wants to debate. He has a loud voice. He's arrogant. He's, pompous. He found a way to flip that. And now he has this podcast. He has the show on ESPN and all that. Like, he is that guy. And if you try to duplicate that, you're copying him. That's how you utilize your negative. Instead of trying to make it a positive, utilize what you already have. You are who you are. And the thing about it that's ironic that people overlook, no matter who you are today, success and failure will change who you are anyways, right? You don't have to be perfect before you become successful. Matter of fact, I know it's going to sound really jacked up, but if you think about it, it's the truth. You don't have to be, okay, success is not biased. Success comes to people who are evil and people who are righteous, okay? You would hope that you would want to be on the side of righteous, but success comes to many different people. How you define success is only your perspective, right? Or maybe how society deems it or whatever, but in all essence, success can come to you, right? If success only came to the positive or success only came to the negative, that's just not the way that the natural order of life happens, right? Here's an example. If you're on a plane right now and there's 50 people on the plane, you want to talk about the power of negative thinking. Okay, 50 people on a plane right now. If 20 of those people say in their head, this plane's going to crash, we're going to all die, and then that plane lands, what power did that have over that entire environment? Really give it some thought, right? There's been a lot of books that I've been reading that have been really, really, really opening my mind in a different way to when I'm like, you know what? You don't know positivity without negativity. You need that balance, right? You don't understand perfection until you appreciate imperfection. It's just a balance. It's a balancing act, right? Something I've been doing, and I know it's a challenge for a lot of people because it's sure in the hell a challenge for me, is saying things are perfect, right? And not in a way where it's like I'm trying to convince myself things are perfect. I'm literally looking at things around me and saying, this is perfect. This is literally perfect as is, because if it wasn't for this being the way it is, 20 years from now, when I'm in the place that I ultimately want to be in life, I have to thank that time period, because had I not gone through that, I would not be where I'm at today. It's perfect. Everything is perfect. Even when it's imperfect, even when it's painful, even when it's terrible, even when it's tragic and people die. this is in the perfect natural order of life. Right? I can understand whoever you believe in. If you believe in God, you believe in a higher power. I don't understand what it takes to operate this thing on a daily basis. And I can't even begin to understand why or how or even reason with it. All I know is everything that happened before, good or bad, ultimately led me here. And if I find 1 second of happiness, it was all worth it. So just something to give some thought, man. Something to give us some thought. I need to stop trying to change negative people and start to activate their ability to utilize their negativity in a positive manner, because that ultimately will make them more positive people. So that's that. No, the book I didn't mention is not Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, but I did read that and I love that too. And that book talks a lot about balance as well. It's important. It's important. But that's it, man. I'm ranting a bit. Yeah, the book that I'm reading right now that's inspiring the majority of these thoughts is a book called Thick Face Black Heart. Thick Face Black Heart. It's a female author that she's just like, she has a way of looking at things. It's an older book. She has a way of looking at things, and I'm just like, yo, this is going to unlock another level in my life, because this kind of thinking it makes you challenge all the things that you've been told, right? It makes you challenge all the cliches. It makes you feel like, you know what, I can actually make a difference without having to be this perfect person that all these YouTube videos say I gotta be, or be this perfect person. Like people think like people who are abundant in money are coming to wealth know how to handle money better than the next person, or know how to save money than the next person. When in all actuality, what most people who win the lottery end up losing it within the first 2 years. People who are born into wealth end up squandering all the money. If they weren't part of the work that it took to put it in there, they end up squandering the money and wasting it because they never got an opportunity to understand it. So we can't think in absolutes. There's absolutely a variable in every situation, right? So that's that. That's why I want to continue. You ever read The War of Art? Yeah, I love that book. I love that one. I love that book. You guys are giving some great suggestions. Really appreciate that. Super dope. Well, this camera's looking like it might start clicking red in a second. I got nothing but the utmost respect and love for y'all, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Once again, it's another episode of Critique My Beats. If you would like to get your beats critiqued in a future episode, do not send them to my emails. Do not do that. Somebody just did that. Do not do that. And do not do that. I got nothing but love and respect for you. I'm continue to bring these videos to you on a more consistent basis. Shout out Jay Anime. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be getting these things done, especially with my jacked up wrist. But we making it happen, y'all. Go Lakers. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You ain't got to say nothing about that. Much love. I will talk to y'all soon. We got some new content dropping Monday. This next show, I'm going to try to do these streams every Friday or Saturday. Okay? So we'll just jump on here and chop it up. But for the most part, thank y'all, man. Once again, it's Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com. Y'all have a good one.